Welcome back to Reds Fusion LFC, your home for all the latest Liverpool transfer buzz. Today, huge news is breaking as Newcastle open talks to replace Liverpool target Alexander Isak, while Fabrizio Romano confirms the Reds are ready to make a move for a world-class star. With a 185-minute transfer trick in play and Arne Slot already having a striker on fire, there's plenty to unpack. Let's dive right in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated with every twist and turn in the transfer window. Newcastle opens transfer talks to replace Liverpool target Alexander Isak. Newcastle has made contact with Wolves over a possible deal for Jørgen Strand Larsen, as the Magpies look for a replacement for Liverpool target Alexander Isak. It's claimed Newcastle is in discussions over a potential deal for Wolves striker Jørgen Strand Larsen, as the club seeks to find a replacement for Alexander Isak. The Swedish forward has been absent from Newcastle's lineup after expressing his desire to leave the club. Isak has not yet joined his teammates in training and was notably absent from Newcastle's Premier League season opener against Aston Villa. Liverpool continues to show interest but has not yet reached an agreement with the Magpies. As this situation continues, Eddie Howe's club is exploring possible replacements and has identified a current Premier League forward as a potential option. According to The Athletic, Wolves striker Strand Larsen has caught the attention of the northeast side. Negotiations are said to be ongoing through intermediaries, with direct talks between the clubs yet to commence. Strand Larsen is reportedly open to a potential move, but is not actively seeking to depart from Wolves at this stage, with discussions still in their infancy. Strand Larsen, 25, made the move to Wolves last summer on loan from Celta Vigo, and after netting 14 goals in his debut season, he was signed permanently. He committed to a 5-year contract at Molineux. Despite their interest in Brentford's star player Yoane Wissa, the Magpies are yet to meet the Bees' $81 million asking price. When questioned about further transfer activity, Newcastle manager Howe stated, "We are still active in the window and we'd love to add 1 or 2 players, but it really is quality over quantity. We don't want to just add, and I don't think we need to do too much more. We are strong, and in certain areas we've got good depth, and will be able and resilient enough to get through a long, tough season. The league is so hard, and the challenges are so big in front of us." Regarding Isak specifically, Howe has called for a resolution to the ongoing saga. He said, "We would like a resolution. I am talking about myself, I am sure, the ownership, and the players. We need that clarity. You don't need any distraction. But I am not in control of that. I think only one person really, Isak, can control that." Howe added, "This season, any season, every season is going to be hard enough. You don't need any kind of distraction to swerve your thoughts, to unbalance what we're doing. I hope it's resolved quickly, because it's news around us all the time. The players have managed to shut that out and perform. We have to continue to do that." Fabrizio Romano, Liverpool, ready to make bid for world-class star. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that Newcastle United received another strong message from Alexander Isak that he only wants to join Liverpool. The Isak saga has been consuming the media for many weeks now, and a solution doesn't appear to be reaching a conclusion. The Swedish striker wasn't involved during Newcastle's 0-0 draw with Aston Villa in the opening weekend of Premier League action, and it seems unlikely that he's going to play for the club before the end of the summer transfer window. Newcastle are in the market for a striker as they prepare for the possible sale of Isak, but they are certainly not going to let him depart easily. The Magpies are demanding a significant fee to allow him to head through the exit door, and it will be interesting to see whether Liverpool are going to pay what Newcastle are looking for, with less than 2 weeks remaining before the window closes. Fabrizio Romano, Isak and Liverpool update out of Newcastle. Speaking on his YouTube channel, Romano has confirmed that Newcastle have received another strong message from Isak that he only wants to join Liverpool. What I can tell you guys is that Newcastle got, again, a strong message from the player. Newcastle these weeks, July, August, always tried to approach Alexander Isak. Always tried to say, "Are you sure there is not even one single way to continue?" Together? They even offered him a new contract with a record salary for the club, but also with an exit clause to let the player go in 2026. Alexander Isak, again, is saying no chance. Alexander Isak has no intention to change his mind. Those close to Alexander Isak maintain the same position, only Liverpool Football Club, only waiting for the next steps on this story. The respected reporter also confirms that Liverpool are ready to bid again for Isak. If Newcastle are to open the doors for an exit, the Reds will be ready with a new proposal, and the Merseyside club haven't approached another striker. With Isak their priority, Liverpool are ready to bid again for Isak. I keep repeating that since July, and that's my position. Liverpool, if Newcastle will open doors, will be very ready with a new proposal. Forget about Liverpool not bidding. They will be very ready. They are very ready. And this is very clear after almost 10 days since this story is entering its really hot stages, and Liverpool never approached any other striker. Isak, described as world-class by former Newcastle striker Alan Shearer, appears adamant that he will be leaving the club before the summer transfer window closes, while the Magpies have been strong in their stance that it's going to take a lot of money to secure his signature. Liverpool have 185 million transfer trick they could now exploit once again. Ben Doak's 25 million move to Bournemouth has highlighted Liverpool transfer approach that continues to pay dividends. And there goes another one. Ben Doak became the 8th Liverpool first-team squad player to leave this summer when he completed a $25 million move to Premier League rivals Bournemouth on Monday evening. For a teenager who has made only 10 senior appearances in 3 seasons at Anfield and none since December 2023, it could be deemed another canny piece of transfer business from the Reds, led by sporting director Richard Hughes. But as with almost every departure of a young player, the sale of Doak has prompted mixed emotions for many Liverpool supporters. There is often a strong connection forged with those who make the move up from academy to the first team, whether they have come through the ranks from a tender age or, as was the case with Doak, brought in elsewhere for a minimal fee later in their development. Everyone is aware these players are far from the finished article. Knowing when to keep hold of such talent and give it time to flourish or accept the offer on the table is simply too good to refuse is a call Liverpool have more often than not successfully made in recent years, and the Reds have gained some significant profit from moving on younger players who either haven't quite managed to cement a regular place in the first-team squad or would be better served progressing elsewhere with regular minutes. With Liverpool the Premier League champions and regarded as one of the best teams in the world, there's no shame in not quite making a consistent breakthrough into their glittering squad, particularly at such a relatively formative stage in a career. Doak became the 19th player in the last 5 years aged 23 or under that, having been in the first-team squad with Liverpool, has then been sold for a fee. The total outlay for those players was around 15 million. The income gained? Almost 200 million. Some quick maths highlights a whopping 185 million profit. Of course, some players, such as Tyler Morton, Jarell Quansah, and Nico Williams, were true academy graduates having been at Kirkby for years. Others, such as Sepp van den Berg and Bobby Clark, were brought in for a fee and continued their development at either under 18 or U21 level. And then there was Fabio Carvalho, a teenager already prepared for direct first-team action when signed from Fulham in a 7.7 million deal. 9 of the departures have come since Hughes and head coach Arne Slot were put in position, with 3, Doak, Morton, and Quansah, happening in this window. It's also worth bearing in mind that 5, Tom Hill, Billy Kumetio, Max Woltman, Leighton Stewart, and Leighton Clarkson, were for undisclosed fees that haven't counted towards the overall income total. That quintet managed 9 Liverpool appearances between them, among 13 who failed to reach double figures. Indeed, the total, of Liverpool outings from the 19 players combined comes to only 183. Kwanzaa's 58 accounts for almost a third of that tally, with Nico Williams next up on 33. Arne Slot already has striker who can't stop scoring amid Alexander Isak. Chase Liverpool U21 team was beaten 4-2 by Leicester City in its Premier League 2 opener on Monday, while the U18 team thrashed Stoke City 5-1 in its first game of the season. The new season has brought a fresh wave of optimism, but it was a weekend of mixed results for Liverpool's academy teams under their new head coaches. The U18 team kicked off its Premier League North campaign with a resounding 5-1 victory over Stoke City on Saturday. However, the U21 team, now led by former Wales manager Rob Page, suffered a 4-2 defeat at Leicester City in its first Premier League 2 match of the season on Monday. Despite the loss, there were some encouraging signs for Page's team, notably another goal from Jadon Danns. The 19-year-old's goal comes as Liverpool looks to bolster its forward line in the transfer market. Alexander Isak continues to be linked with the Reds, yet Danns is doing all he can to remind Arne Slot of his ability. The teenager is gradually regaining his match fitness after a lengthy absence due to a stress fracture in his back. Danns sparked hopes of a Liverpool comeback at Leicester when he scored 4 minutes into the second half. That goal reduced the deficit to 2-1 after Michael Golding and Nathaniel Opoku had given the home side a 2-goal lead at the break. However, any hopes of a turnaround were quickly extinguished as Golding and Opoku both found the net again. Liverpool did manage to pull another goal back late on through Michael Laffey, but it was too little, too late. Meanwhile, the U18 team enjoyed a more successful outing under new boss Simon Wiles, with 17-year-old Joe Bradshaw playing a starring role in the emphatic win at Stoke. Bradshaw, who was the top scorer for the U18's last season and signed his first professional contract in the summer, set up DJ Esdaile for the opening goal before doubling Liverpool's lead with a superb free kick. Josh Sonny Lambie scored an extraordinary goal from the halfway line after Stoke goalkeeper Lucas Knight was caught out of position, and substitute Finn Inglethorpe found the net with his first touch. Stoke managed to pull one back through a header from Tommy McNally at a corner, but home defender Sanchez Phillips inadvertently put the ball into his own net, rounding off the scoring. Liverpool U21s will next face Burnley at Kirkby on Monday, while the U18 players are set to travel to the Clarets on Saturday, 30 August. Alexander Isak interest has exposed transfer truth. Liverpool must now negotiate. Liverpool could be dealing in uncharted transfer waters amid interest in Alexander Isak of Newcastle United and Crystal Palace's Mark Guehi. Forget last-minute winners, controversial officiating, or memorable trophy successes. For some supporters, nothing quite gets the blood pumping and heart racing as much as a transfer. Focus is inevitably concentrated on those coming through the door, with the excitement over new signings and fresh faces almost always exponentially greater than that of watching a player leave. There are, of course, some notable exceptions, such as the furore on Tyneside that continues to be sparked by one-away Newcastle United striker Alexander Isak, and Liverpool's ongoing interest in the 25-year-old. Sales, though, generally just aren't as sexy as signings. But an ability to gain top dollar for players deemed surplus to requirements or who see their future elsewhere is almost as important a trait as the ability to recruit. And Liverpool, with sporting director Richard Hughes spearheading transfer business, are once again underlining they are among the market leaders in generating income. The latest such move is that of 19-year-old winger Ben Doak, who is joining Bournemouth for $25 million. Doak had cost $600,000 from Celtic 3 years ago and ultimately made only 10 senior appearances for the Reds, only 4 of which were as a starter, with the last coming way back in December 2023. Not including add-ons, the exit will take the money recouped by Liverpool beyond the 200 million mark for the summer, with Trent Alexander-Arnold, Kawhimin Kelleher, Nat Phillips, Jarell Quansah, Luis Diaz, Tyler Morton, and Darwin Núñez having already departed. That goes some way to explaining why Arne Slot's side have been able to commit almost 300 millimeters on new players this summer, with more likely to spend before the September 1st transfer deadline, given the ongoing interest in Isak, as well as Crystal Palace centre-back Mark Guehi. Doak's departure would move the Reds almost on a par with Chelsea and Bournemouth regards most money raised from player sales by Premier League clubs during the ongoing transfer window, and in terms of net spend, Liverpool would be in the same region as Manchester City, Sunderland, and Newcastle, and have almost half the total of Manchester United and Arsenal, the duo who at present have by far the biggest overall outlay. Some clubs are better than others, than selling. Intriguing, then, is that Liverpool's immediate future is entwined among the top flight's least proficient in that regard. Arsenal, the Reds' nearest title rivals last season, are among them. True, the Gunners have improved in recent years, with some of their biggest sales being Emile Smith-Rowe, Folarin Balogun, and Eddie Nketiah. But it's remarkable to consider the most money they've ever received for a player remains the 35 million from Liverpool to sign Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain almost 8 years ago. The Reds have sold 8 players for more. Alexander Isak has already rubbed up Liverpool icons the wrong way, as club warned Alexander Isak's attempt to force a move from Newcastle to Liverpool hasn't gone down well with everyone on the red half of Merseyside as the transfer saga of the summer drags on. It's not just those connected with Newcastle United who are unhappy with Alexander Isak's behavior this summer. The Sweden striker, who has been the subject of a 110 million rejected bid from Liverpool, is trying to force a move away from St. James's Park. Isak has been training alone after failing to travel for the pre-season tour of Asia. He also did not play a part on Saturday as Newcastle kicked off their Premier League campaign with a goalless draw at Aston Villa, where they failed to score against 10 men. Naturally, his stance has enraged the Magpies' hierarchy and the club's fans, who have branded the 25-year-old greedy and ungrateful. Key Liverpool figures have also been unimpressed with Isak's conduct, though, which could lead to some frosty exchanges should he eventually join the Reds. Here's what some Liverpool legends have said about the Isak transfer saga. Jamie Carragher, the highest-profile member of the Liverpool media contingent, says Isak has gone about his desire to leave Newcastle in the wrong way. The Sky Sports pundit told the Eye paper, "Transfers happen every summer, but I don't think you should ever go toxic or nuclear where you refuse to play or train. That may be what forces the move in the end, so who am I to say it's wrong? But I just don't like it. They're paying his wages, they've been great to you, you've been great for them, just keep training, keep playing, and hope a deal gets done.